Hey everyone, I'm Sarah and welcome to my channel. Today's speed build is a family home in Glimmerbrook. I wanted it to have a rustic vibe on the outside. It's kind of modern on the inside, but I really like this lot. I like how it overlooks the stream and mountains, and it just has that outdoorsy feel to it. So I wanted a home that fit this lot, and you'll see that I use a lot of like earthy tones, the brick and the brown siding. But I also put the wraparound porch on the back because I thought this would be really nice for your Sims to enjoy the outdoors and enjoy the scenery. And then I decide that it would be really cool to have the home look like it's built into the terrain. So I end up raising up the terrain. I raise up the home a little bit so that I can put like the stilts underneath. And I go into debug and I find the larger rocks to just kind of like create this look that it was like built into a mountainside kind of vibe. With the front of the home, I was going for not necessarily a castle feel, but it kind of looks that way with these round rooms and the round roofs. But the one that I wanted to be the entry, the smaller one, I end up having to cut out. So I was kind of bummed about that, but the roof was not working and it kept clipping on the second floor. So just doing a little landscaping here. I don't show all the landscaping in here because it took a while. The back of the home has a lot of landscaping and just all the placement of the rocks and everything. It just was too time consuming, so I did cut that out in order to make this video a decent length. Otherwise it would have been way over like an hour as a speed build, and that was just too long. So basically I used the same plants and everything throughout. The only other things that you will see in the front, I go back and add a fountain and the mailbox and then a couple more plants kind of surrounding that stair area, so it does fill out a little better. And then I add some planters to the front porch, which you will see later in the screenshots as well. Moving on to the inside, I create this double story loft here and just trying to find the chandelier to put in here. I did have a issue when placing the chandelier. I forgot that when you delete the floor, the chandelier wants to go to the first floor unless you either put the floor back or you have to toggle the grid back on, which I don't like to build with the grid. I like to leave it off. I just think it looks cleaner when building, and the grid is like really distracting. But I wanted to create a balcony area and just let that natural light flow into the upstairs. And then with the staircase, I always like to make a double staircase when I build bigger homes like this. I just feel like it makes it more grand of an entry when you're coming into the home. And moving back outside, you can see that I am editing that section that used to be the little round room. I had to make it square, like I said, to get rid of that clipping. I even tried changing the room on the inside, thinking like, well, maybe it's an open room, like something is broken, and that was gonna fix the clipping, but it didn't. So unfortunately I had to get rid of that and just make the walls squared off, which turned out just as nice, I think. Also, you'll notice that the foundation changed when I was messing with the walls, but I do go back and fix that to make it match the rest of the house. Moving back inside, just changing the staircase a little bit. I make it white instead of brown. I really like white trim in homes. I know it doesn't really match the doors because I end up using brown doors, but I think using a mixture of the white and brown just kind of blends well together. Decorating the living room now. This is kind of like an informal living room. I was picturing it would be a place for your Sims to just hang out, watch TV, watch movies, read books if they wanted to do that while they enjoyed this really nice fireplace, and just kind of make it feel not as formal There is a formal living room on the back side of the house, but decorating the fireplace here, I use this red shelf. Some of you may have this already, or if you don't know what it is, it's a mod that you can download, and I do have it linked below if you want to download it. But it is very helpful when placing items on different levels that don't work well when you're just using the Shift 9 or 0 keys, because sometimes your items will end up floating or getting like cut off within the object that you're working to like size it on. So using the red shelf really is helpful, and I do use it throughout the build here. In the entry, I really try to clutter up the space. I love adding a bunch of clutter everywhere. This does change a little later in the video because I realize I want a half bath in the corner. So I have to get rid of the coat rack and just make room for the door in the corner. Also, I removed this arch to create a hallway that leads into the dining room. I just felt that it made it more spacious for the entry. Moving into the kitchen now, I like how spacious this kitchen is, especially with the bumped out window. I typically would add like books or other clutter there, but I decided a planter box looked really nice. And of course, you can't have a kitchen without an island. I always like putting kitchen islands in my builds. I think they really look nice. And of course, they add extra seating if you have more Sims coming over. And with this little bump out, it's currently being decorated as like a coffee bar, but a little later within the build, I do change that into the half bath. So everything that I'm placing inside this little nook area ends up being pulled forward and fitting into the kitchen. It actually turns out really nice. And I wanted to use the floating shelves just to kind of break up the heavy cabinets, but it wasn't looking right, so I just used a few of them on the sides and then left the one over in the coffee bar area. But I really like to use the shelves to add more clutter to the kitchen without necessarily adding too much clutter to the counter space. If you have too much clutter on the counter and not enough open space, your Sims can't cook on the counter, and then they end up just giving up on their cooking. So just adding a couple more items over in the coffee area. I do end up having to use the red shelf again over there, you'll see in a little bit. But on certain surfaces, there's only so many spaces that items can move to. So with the shelf up here, I was already using the 3 spaces that the items had, so I had to leave the plates there and then replace another set of plates, deleting the old ones, because otherwise it was going to jump to the end of the shelf and it wasn't going to place where I wanted them to. So sometimes, like you noticed when you go back to the living room, I had to put the plants on top of the fireplace in order to place them on the fireplace. It's just one way of putting items on different surfaces that it would usually like jump up or down. Just adding some extra clutter items to the counter space now. So over here, just trying to pick out a hutch. I wasn't really sure what to put in this space. It kind of was empty, but I think the hutch filled it nicely. And then swapping out the chairs, I really liked these rounder chairs better, and the color just fit nicer, especially with the dining room. I was trying to bring that green color into the dining room since these rooms were kind of open to each other. I switched out the table a couple times. I was trying to find a nice wood tone that kind of matched, which is kind of frustrating, as you may know when you're picking out color swatches, how the wood doesn't always match for every furniture piece. I kind of wish that we had matching wood tones for our furniture and flooring and windows. It would just make everything look nicer. And with this wall, I love using this palm leaf wallpaper. It's one of my favorites, but I didn't want to use it in the full room because I felt like it would be too much going on. So I just wanted to use it as an accent wall. I placed the grandfather clock in here. It definitely made the dining room feel a little more formal, but I thought that was okay because we have the formal dining, but we have the bar in the kitchen, so you have like a secondary space to eat, and then in a little bit we move into a formal living room. So the home definitely has like the vibe that your Sims could entertain here and have dinner parties. So just adding a couple more plants into the space to fill some of the areas. I don't like to leave too many blank either shelves or counters areas, whatever. I just like to fill it up. This is the formal living room. I thought it was a really nice area with all the open windows to use the grand piano. But as you can see in the upper part of the video, I have a bathroom in the corner. I did not show that in the video because that does not stay a bathroom. I end up deleting the bathroom and putting the piano in that corner instead. I felt it was a better use of the space, especially since I did put a half bath over in the entry area. Of course, I gotta have another fireplace in here. I love using fireplaces, and this home actually has 3 fireplaces in it. I typically will only do one, but I felt like because of the location and the vibe of this home that all the fireplaces I used fit the space nicely. Another thing that I was trying to do with this build is use items that I don't typically use. So like these paintings, I don't usually use these kind of paintings. They're kind of bright. I kind of wish you could change the background colors of them. I do like that you can change the frame, but I also would think it would be nice to change the pink and purple maybe to other colors. And then I'm just sizing these down to fit the wall a little better. I liked having the middle one be taller. Just trying to find some items to clutter up the fireplace. I do end up rearranging the living room to put the fireplace on the wall where the couch is currently. And like I said, I'll be deleting that bathroom here shortly. If you didn't want to have a formal living room, you could easily convert the space into another bedroom and an office. The home does not have an office, and I didn't put a computer in here because I was thinking about having your Sims be unplugged when they're here. And even though you have the TV, there is a tablet in the kids' room, but I was just trying to eliminate the amount of electronics that were placed into this home. So you could easily convert this space if you needed the extra bedroom or wanted the office. So that's just one way that you can customize the space and make it your own. So here's the room now with the bathroom gone, and I'm just trying to fill in the seating area. I was just picturing this to be a simple seating room. You have access to the patio with the sliding doors. And then the cat tree that's in here right now ends up moving into the family room. And I did put the fish tank in here instead because I felt like it just fit the room a little better. And the cat tree to me is a little more informal and didn't really fit the space. When I was in this room, my daughter was sitting next to me at this point, and she was asking me to build a home. She's 6 and she's never played The Sims before and has only watched me a few times with building and creating Sims. So after the video, I let her take a try at building, and I was actually amazed at how well she did and shocked that she didn't really ask too many questions. She knew where to find the walls and windows and all the different build items. The only thing she really asked me was how to rotate the camera or get different angles. So I had to give her a lesson on how to use the mouse, but that's really it. I was pretty surprised at that. And she did a decent job in her house, but now it's kind of like she wants to build more often. So we might be fighting for the computer to build. Just doing some finishing touches in here now, and I added the trust table and just trying to find something to put on the coffee table. I like this little tray with the candles from Tiny Living. It's kind of one of my favorite things to use. So just trying to place a rug in here, and I believe that's the last thing I place in here. And then we end up moving into that half bath. I had already moved everything out of the kitchen at that point, as you can kind of see, but this is the half bath. It's pretty simple. It's the sink, the toilet, and then I almost forgot to put a cat box in here, so I thought we'll just stick it in the half bath. Obviously you can move it wherever, but or delete it if you don't want to have any pets. Totally up to you if you decide to play in this home, but I wanted to keep it simple with decorating, and it's not overly cluttered, but I thought it was a good use of the space for being a smaller bathroom. And yeah, I rotate the sink so it's at an angle, and I did play test it. The sink does work at the angle that it is. I did not play test the litter box though, but I would think your animal should be able to use the litter box. Going upstairs now, this is the master and the ensuite. I was trying to create this luxurious bathroom, just kind of picturing like, what would I want if I lived in this house? What would I want the bathroom to be? And I like having like the big soaker tub is really nice, but also like a bigger walk-in shower. I don't mind using the regular single stall showers that we have, but I kind of wish we had bigger, like double sized walk-in showers. So I typically create my own, which is what I end up doing here, and just using the Snowy Escape shower head and just putting some soap on the wall. But I just like the size of this much better. It's essentially like putting the tub and shower combo, but just not having the tub. And I wanted to have like the toilet sectioned off from when you walked in. I just couldn't make it look right. I thought it looked a little awkward having the door framed between two like walls or panes of glass kind of thing. So I decided to just leave that open. Just adding a couple finishing touches in here. And then moving into the master. The wallpaper, I really love this wallpaper. It's from the Paranormal pack that recently came out, and I have been using it a lot in the builds that I've done recently, but I thought it went well with the bed here. And then I used a higher back couch just to kind of give the illusion of the headboard being larger. Then moving over here, swapping out that fireplace for a more luxurious looking fireplace and picking out a mirror to go above. I like the Parenthood mirror. It's one of my favorite ones. With this side, I decided to put the walk-in closet. I don't typically use the walk-in closet, but I thought it fit this space nicely. Then over in this corner, I decided to place a vanity. It didn't make sense to have a dresser in the bedroom since your Sims can use the closet to change. I also put these wall panel lights in here. I thought they looked really nice, especially when you don't have a lot of space necessarily on the sides of the bed. I do end up finding smaller end tables to put next to the bed, but then I just put plants on the end tables versus lamps. And going back to the fireplace, I removed the mirror. I end up putting a cow plant on there, and then the canvas frames that look like drawings. It's another piece of artwork that I like to use in the builds, and then just some candles. And then the last thing I do in here is just add a little window by the cat bed here to finish the room off, and a picture on the wall, and moving into the girls' room. So with this room, I was thinking about my girls and what would they want in their room. I was trying to make it super girly, so of course a lot of pink, but I didn't want to make the walls pink, so I waited on the color to do that last, just to kind of feel out the vibe of the room once I got the decorations in here. But you will see towards the end that it ends up being yellow. So just trying to clutter up the space now and find all the girly stuff that I could find to put in this room. A ton of posters on the walls. The girls love having all the stuff on their walls, and so I wanted to put the posters, and I wanted to use like the little fairy lights and the lights with the pictures, and of course the cluttered, or like the grouped calendar. I have the cat calendar in here now, but I end up removing that, and I have the grouped calendar, or it looks like one, and looking for a shelf now to put on the wall here. And the last thing I think I add is the little mouse cage. So jumping over to the bathroom, this goes pretty quick. I didn't really want to show a lot of this because it's kind of similar to the other bathroom that I did. I just wanted to have accents of pink in here, and I used the elephant shower curtain bathtub, which you'll actually get a better view of later in the screenshots, and just getting some pink curtains on the walls. And I removed the hamper because I ended up not putting in a washer and dryer, so I didn't think it made sense to leave a hamper in the bathroom. And then moving into the gym space, I do have a massage table in here, but I found out that the massage table didn't work. Your Sims couldn't actually access it, so I think it has to be rotated, either that or just delete the water fountain feature wall, and then your Sims should be able to use it. Moving outside now, I wanted to show just some of the items that I placed. I have the round table out here. I thought it would be nice for your Sims to come out and have dinner or just hang out on a nice sunny day. I have the grill, and then I end up placing a garbage can a little later in the corner because I almost forgot to put in outdoor garbage. These lounge chairs I move up to the second story balcony. To place an easel on the first balcony to give your Sims an additional activity, since there are limited electronics within the house. It just helps build the skills up for painting. And you're going to see me place a couple more items throughout the backyard. One of the things I wanted to point out, you'll notice a little garden area with a bee box, and I did put in a fire pit for another fun activity for your Sims to enjoy. As we come to an end to the video, I hope you really liked it, and if you'd want to download this home, it is uploaded to the gallery under my EA ID Simtastic Sarah. I hope you'll consider giving this video a thumbs up, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more videos like this one. I do have a ton of really cool builds coming out that I am really excited to share with you, so make sure to click the notification bell so you don't miss out. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.
Bye.